Hello, my name is Cheryl Turner. I'm the chair for the Guelph Self-Advocate Group, People for People. People for People is made up of 4 groups from the Guelph Wellington area: Erin, Fergus, Guelph, and Mount Forest. People for People is a group of individuals with developmental disabilities who advocate for people with disabilities.
Community Living Guelph Wellington was established in 1955 by a group of parents of children with developmental disabilities. They banded together to form supports for their children for social and educational opportunities. Today, through the work of more than 420 direct support professionals, a management and administrative team of more than 30 people, and a host of volunteers, more than 400 adults with a developmental disability living in Guelph and throughout Wellington County are supported to reach their goals, their dreams, and their visions. As DSW graduates are not readily available, Community Living Guelph Wellington embarked upon adopting core competencies. Through the implementation of core competencies, we've been able to improve our retention, our selection, and our recruitment of a dedicated group of volunteers.
On behalf of our group, it gives me great pleasure to nominate Community Living Guelph Wellington for the Developmental Service HR Strategy Leadership Award.
Community Living incorporated core competencies in 2011. We trained 2 facilitators to do the initial training for the agency, and I was fortunate enough to be one of those trainers. We met with the president of the union prior to getting started, and immediately we had a collaboration and a willingness to get going. An implementation team was put together that represented the entire agency from a geographical perspective, as well as full-time and part-time and all of the services across the agency. Management was done in similar fashion. Our implementation team was 5 management and 5 direct support staff. The implementation team started with newsletters, games, puzzles, etc. The games were a great hit, and we started to get more and more staff involved in the process. All the newsletters were based on a competency of the month, and that really helped get staff to engage. We also implemented the behavioral-based interviewing process for internal and external candidates, as well as we revamped all of the job descriptions, incorporating the competencies into them.
Community Living Guelph Wellington has been involved with the DSHR strategy since the very beginning. We readily signed up to be represented on the HR Best Practices Committee and the Core Competencies Committee. Since that time, we've maintained our involvement in the DSHR strategy by having membership on the Core Competencies Committee, the Core Competencies Implementation Committee, HR Best Practices, Talent Management and Succession Planning Committee, HR Forum Committee, and the Steering Committee, which led to a seat on the Provincial Network on Developmental Disabilities. Community Living Guelph Wellington has also participated in the focus groups to develop the core competencies, any of the survey work that's been part of the strategy. We've had representatives in the initial promotional items, including the video and brochures. Employees of Community Living Guelph Wellington have made presentations to OADD and to the networks of specialized care. As a result of our involvement with the HR strategy, Community Living Guelph Wellington has developed relationships with Queen's University, King's College, the Ontario Nonprofit Network, and the Institute of Public Administrations of Canada.
Training was provided to union executive and then to management. We then identified 3 teams that were comprised of 1 direct support staff and 1 management staff. Training was completed during the summer of 2012. It was hard work, but it was rewarding, as staff told us it was the best training they had taken. Based on feedback from staff, training was modified to ensure the facilitators were doing the same thing, we were engaging the employees, and we were using agency examples to demonstrate the competencies. We now offer training 4 times a year to new hires and those that want a refresher. We advocated to have all program sites having core comp boards and that staff discuss it at team meetings.
I believe that core competencies offer a framework to achieve excellence in support provision. As a direct support professional in a newly created transitional youth program within Community Living Guelph Wellington, core competencies highlight important behavioral characteristics that are essential to support young people who are transitioning out of a structured care environment into independent living. I utilize core competencies to shape the program here, as well as enhance my support relationships with youth. In the short time that James and I have worked together, we have focused not only on promoting several key core competencies within our support relationship, but fostering such competencies in James himself.
Jessica, a person I support, suffers from a high-level anxiety when making phone calls. Knowing how social she is, I wanted to foster a higher level of independence within her. With a lot of dedication, over time, Jessica became more confident and needed less help from staff. Jessica has so much confidence in herself, she now owns a cell phone and is able to make phone calls with more ease.
Hi, my name is Jessica and I've been receiving support from Community Living Guelph Wellington for a number of years now. My worker always pushes me to do better and builds up my self-confidence in my everyday life. I found making phone calls very difficult and always uncomfortable. We started by first using speakers so Laura could hear what I say and coach me through the conversations. With a lot of practice and patience, I am now able to make my own phone calls. It was very hard at first, but with a little help, I was able to overcome my fears.
Staff has supported me in being more flexible, especially when things don't go my way. It's still a work in progress. Since moving into community living, I have been working on being more independent, such as getting my routines done and taking public transportation to back and forth from work. Based on my past experiences, building relationships can be difficult. It is important to me to develop a positive relationship with all staff. Staff help me to understand social cues and how to listen to other people's parts in conversations and being respectful to others.
Since learning about the core competencies, I wanted to put my skills into use and help Rebecca and advocate for her in regards to a goal that she had set. I had submitted a proposal to my supervisor and all was a go. We planned our trip and we were off to Great Wolf Lodge.
My girlfriends and I had a great time at Great Wolf Lodge. Casey helped me the trip we had done at the waterpark. Ricky is staying overnight. It was so much fun to tell everyone about the trip. Now I get to next patient. Plan my next goal for next year.
I learned if we take little steps, then anything is possible.
The initial survey results related to the adoption of core competencies across the sector and within Community Living Guelph Wellington show a marked increase in employee engagement, employee satisfaction, and a feeling of professionalism.
Community Living Guelph Wellington works in collaboration with the University of Guelph students, facilitating the Best Buddies program. We currently have 51 people we support, called Best Buddies, matched up with students, called Best Buddy Peers, building friendships through email, phone calls, outings, and events. This year we've also started a pilot project called Campus Friends. 4 people we support are matched up with the University of Guelph students to experience life as a student on campus. They attend classes and fun activities with the students they are matched with. Community Living Guelph Wellington also encourages the development of our employees through the DSW Apprenticeship Program. We currently have 18 employees enrolled in the program, with 5 employees that have successfully completed the program. We also encourage and welcome student placements, co-op and high school students the opportunity to do their placements here at Community Living Guelph Wellington. It is a win-win for everyone.
As we all know, the core objective of the DSHR strategy is to improve the personal outcomes and the quality of life for the people we support and their families. At Community Living Guelph Wellington, we are proud of the leadership shown at all levels of the organization with respect to developing the professional characteristics of our direct support professionals. The tools provided by the strategy have enabled us to enhance our employee engagement, which in turn results in improving the personal outcomes of the people we support. Our DS staff are leading the way in professionalizing the sector as a whole.